Congratulations, European champions. How does that sound?
It feels incredible. I mean, I think it's going to take a little while to sink in, to be honest with you. It's just great to just sit in the changing rooms and have a beer and just look at the players enjoying themselves. And it's amazing how many of them are kind of talking about they wish it kind of had been a little bit of a better game, and they also realise it doesn't really matter because it's the result that matters in finals. And they're delighted in there. There's a range of emotions. Some guys crying, some guys laughing, some guys smiling, some guys sitting down a little bit, not sure what to do. But that's what you get. You get a range of emotions, and it was an emotional game at the end, wasn't it? To take control of the game and then to lose control of the game and then have to fight like we did at the end with 14 men. It really did have everything, didn't it? And in the end, the kind of test of character shone through, and we've seen off a remarkable game that's led to a remarkable result. And another huge, notable thing in Exeter Chiefs history.
You don't do dull finals, do you? That was another cracker out there.
It's getting a bit hard. It'd just be nice if in one of these games the lads could just take control and keep it nice and simple for us. But finals shouldn't be like that, should they? I said this when we beat Wasps, and it was in extra overtime and we won by 3 points. That's what a final should be like. The best two teams coming down to it should be as close as it can get. And ultimately that's what happened. That's what's happened today. That's as close as the game could have got. That's what a final should be like. And it's probably been a better final than other finals in the past, but it's still a bit, like I say, we're a little bit frustrated we probably didn't play a little better, but I think you probably, until you experience it, until you're out there, it's probably impossible to really judge how you're going to get through those games.
Must be delighted with the start, though. 14-0 up in about 17 minutes. You couldn't have asked for too much more.
Well, ultimately, that was the key to the victory, wasn't it? Getting the points on the board, Simo knocking over the conversions, because ultimately, when you're in by 1 point, it comes down to conversions. They missed some of theirs. And so all of that kind of added up. And if we hadn't have gone for tries, it would be interesting, because I think a lot of teams in Europe would have started kicking penalties. If we hadn't have gone for tries, we wouldn't have won, because we wouldn't have scored enough points, and we wouldn't have been able to keep racing at arm's length by kicking penalties, because we didn't defend well enough, did we? It's interesting. It's one of those funny things. We looked lethal for 5 metres, and everyone else in defence we looked a bit shaky. It's really strange how it works. But having said that, we've come through again with a test of character, and that's all we can ask for.
How did you feel when Thomas Francis got the yellow card?
Well, it felt like the momentum of the game was already against us, and I talk about this a lot, and that felt like it added to the momentum of the game going against us. But sometimes you just come up with a moment, don't you? And we came up with a moment, and that led to another moment when we did really well to win another penalty, and that led to another moment, and then obviously a great shot at goal by Joe. And it was ultimately a bit weird, because we elected to take the shot at goal because we knew it would run the clock down, and then the clock didn't run. And we were looking, going, well, you've got a minute to take the kick, and the clock's not running. And so I actually am glad that Nigel always went back and went, well, hold on a minute, this clock should have run dead by now. So that was ultimately the right thing. That was ultimately the right thing. That's what should have happened. You want to put them back on? It's giving me some fun, Nigel, hasn't it?
Yeah, the headphones coming up. And the way you closed the game out, though, was brilliant, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, we kept the ball, didn't we? We kept the ball probably better than we had at any other stage. We didn't really go anywhere, but we kept the ball. We didn't look like conceding a penalty. We didn't look like giving the ball up. And then obviously we ended up winning that penalty, and it's just a fantastic occasion for everybody involved, particularly the players. This group of players, I've never seen a group of players work as hard as this group have worked. And if you work hard, you deserve good things, and that's what's happened today.
Bristol's a special place for you, isn't it? 10 years ago, you got into the Premiership, and 10 years later, you're European champions.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Like, one side of me goes, it's 10 years has gone in the blink of an eye, because that's often what you look back on with time. It feels like the blink of an eye, but then I look back and I think of all the games we played, all the training sessions, all the highs and lows. And most of the time, we've worked our way through the lows really, really hard. I mean, you think, as well as we've done these last number of years, has anybody had, the last 5 years in particular, has anybody had more disappointment in big games than us? Probably not. And so if there was ever a team or ever a group of players who matured and carried on working and carried on sticking at it and stuck together and deserved something to go their way in the end, it's probably this group of players, probably more than any other group of players in the country, because they've been there, come up short quite a few times. Today we haven't come up short. Today we've got what we need to get.
I'm sure the way you are, you've just seen this is job half done. You want to complete the job next Saturday.
I'm trying not to think like that. I'm trying to go, let's enjoy today for today. Let's make the most of today for today, because this is incredibly special, what we've achieved today. And I don't want the lads to move on too quickly. But I do think actually probably playing today will help us next week. I think we can play better next week than we probably played today, and we'll need to actually. I think Wasps are ready to go. I think they're ready to go, and I think it'll be a tough game for us. And I think it's going to be another game like today where I'm going to be chewing my microphone and spitting and cursing and wondering what we're doing. But that's what finals are a little bit like, and I just hope that it would be just reward, I feel, for this group of players for what they've committed to over, like I said, this last 5 years, if we can do the double, and I'm hoping that will be enough of a driver for us.